This time, I fixed the microphone before I started. A little trick that I'm trying out. Let me do clicking buttons 1 second. I don't need that. I don't need that. The rest of it should be working. We'll click the start button on the emulator and make sure that that is working. Looks like it is. Cool. All right. Well, the good news is it's been a smooth start this time. Just as a little refresher for both me and anyone else paying attention right now, we have two Pokemon. We've got our Staravia and our Turtwig, and I'm going to just kind of keep rolling where we left off. So we just got to Floroma Town. Is that what it's called? It's probably what it's called. I'm going to leave and come back because it'll tell you with the little pop-up there. Sure, close enough. So yeah, there is a town nearby. Actually, it's not. It's the Valley Windworks. It's like a windmill station. I kind of stopped because I didn't feel like dealing with that last time, but this time I don't know, because that's the next part that we're going to be doing. This is also the first full week in which my my updated stream schedule is going to be in effect. So I think I can get like a thing from one of these people, but so I'm gonna be doing Pokemon on Mondays. I'm gonna be doing Warzone or Modern Warfare, or it's kind of like, so I was doing Wildcard Fridays for a bit. I've kind of switched that so that it's gonna be I guess the best way to put it would be kind of like Warzone / Wildcard Wednesdays, so I'll be doing that. Isn't it though, Mr. Pat? Nope, I don't need any of that stuff. I'm like button mashing right now. Dude, this town is so nice. I can't wait for Gen 4 remakes, like when we come back to this generation finally and see what they do with it on the Switch. And by that I mean, I hope to God they don't screw it up, but I guess we'll find out when we get there. And then just to kind of conclude the stream schedule thing, unless something has changed and I didn't pay attention to it because I've been kind of a space cadet over the past few days. I think Magic is a Friday thing now. So we'll do that. Pat, of course, you'll be there with me for that one, so that'll be good. Mr. Man Mountain. It's a good name. But yeah, no, this town's nice. The downside is there's not a whole lot to do here. I wish there was more. It's a very pretty town, and then it's kind of like a waypoint. Like, there's no gyms. There's a tiny little bit of story stuff if you count the Valley Windworks as part of it, but it'd be nice if there was more. Just something extra to do, you know? I'm assuming you're talking about Man Mountain, and yes, Pat, I would say it's a good nickname for you. It's a good, it's just like a generally good name, you know? So I like it. Like, Dude Esquire is one that came from a friend of mine back like not long after I graduated high school. I was hanging out over at their place for a while, and they kind of had this habit of every time they'd shoot you a message on something like Facebook or wherever, they would just kind of throw a different weird nickname at you, and Dude Esquire made me chuckle, and I just kind of kept it. So it's just one of those random one-off things that I just liked. Dude, 5'11" in middle school, I was somewhere in that range. I was taller than people, like I think I was the tallest kid in my class, other than maybe, I think Josh was taller than me the whole time, Josh Sherfield. But yeah, I was consistently one of the tallest people in my class for all of elementary school, all of middle school, and then pretty much all of high school as well. But I had a teacher that would call me Stretch because funny story, yeah, it's not that I was not well behaved, but I had this kind of habit of, I don't know, being annoying because I thought I was funny, and he had a good enough sense of humor that when I wouldn't tell him my name, he just started calling me Stretch, and it was hysterical because I met him my freshman year, and then he called me Stretch for 4 years, and then on my second semester of senior year, I took the Holocaust class because it just seemed like an interesting enough historical thing I wanted to learn about, and he was the teacher there, and just the revelation that he had my name on his attendance sheet was just outstanding. Dude, and you say petered out at 6 foot, but 6 foot's a good height, you know what I mean? Like, my cousin is 6'8", and Like, it's incredible, but I feel like it's a bit much, at least for my personal taste. I don't know that I would want to be 6'8". Yeah, he has to, he wears shoes that are big enough that you don't get them in store. You have to have them custom ordered, and like they will make them to order and ship them to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's an incredible height, but it seems like it's more trouble than it's worth, if I can be completely honest. I'll find it sometime. You know what? I'm not going to do it now because it's not a good time for me to do that. But I have a, yeah, I wear 14s, and it's tough to find a store that carries 14s. No, he was in one of my cousin's weddings as one of the groomsmen, and so was I. And there's this picture of us standing down at the altar together, and it's such a weird photo because all of my cousins are somewhere in like the 6'3" to 6'5" range, which is where I am. So it's like 3 dudes that are like the same height, and then Nate just towers over the rest of us. It's the only picture of me that I've ever really seen where I just look like a totally average sized dude with it's a bizarre photo, and I'm going to find it and send it to you sometime because it's outstanding. Yeah, I'm used to having people come up and, hey, how's it going? And he's like one of the only people I've ever met that I have to look up to physically. Like, you know, like he's a good role model. I can look up to him that way too. But, you know, it's like physically, like I have to crane my neck up to say hi to him. It's crazy. You know what? I'm curious. I'm finding it now. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to fight the Pokemons, and we're going to scroll through Facebook pictures. Is it a profile picture of mine? I don't know where it is, actually. This might be a stupid choice because I don't remember. What is up with the new Facebook UI, by the way? Why does it suck? Like, what do I do if I just want to see my old photos? All right, there we go. I think that's it. It'd be easier if Leanne didn't tag me in photos all the time. I love her, and it's great, and I love it. But at the same time, it means that I've got about 300 million pictures to scroll through if I want to find something from like 10 years ago when that happened. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, but this was a wedding that took place when I was in high school. So we're talking like 2008, 2009, somewhere in that range. Back before Facebook had completely soured my interest in using it as a platform. So like, ooh, do we have it? Turns out if you just scroll really, really, really fast the whole time, you'll sort of, that's kind of it. It's one of the pictures. It's not the one that I'm thinking of, but let's see if autofocus will do its job. It is, yeah, he's the really tall one way down at the end. I am the one next to him. There's another one. It's just, I will find it and send it to you privately, but he's enormously tall. Yeah. It's just, it's weird because like I grew up my entire life basically being the tall guy, and then, you know, I get down to Florida and I'm like the regular guy. Like, taller than aunts and uncles, but oh shit, this is a speed up button. Taller than aunts and uncles, not taller than the cousins in any meaningful way. That's what's wild though. They've started moving and I don't see them anymore. We used to go to Florida every year. Spring break, they gave you a week off school. If you were in a PA school district, you probably had the same thing going on. And so we would go down there for the whole week. And I have not just gone down to Florida for the sake of just relaxing in 6 years. 6 years? Long enough that I don't... The last time I went down to Florida was when my cousin got married, and that was like 2018. So it's been a while, and that was more like we went down with a purpose, and while we're there we'll chill for a little bit. Last time it was literally just a vacation. It was like 2015 maybe. Like, it's been a bit. Cool, making some progress. We got a key. I can open that door that one dick locked us out of. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm getting married in April of this year. I was going to get married in April of last year, and then that didn't work on account of a pandemic that happened. The determination that we've made this year is I don't care what happens to the guest list. I'm getting married. So the original guest list was close to 100 people. We have now just like eviscerated it. Like we had it down to like 20 something, and then kind of we're like, all right, I think that's a bit extreme. We can bring it back up. So we're hovering at like 40, 45 people. But that's, yeah, it is what it is. But the kind of quiet puzzle that I'm working on in the back of my head that I think Leanne already sort of has an answer on, but I want to see if I can come up with any personal opinions on it, is what to do for a honeymoon. Because we're not booking that. We're not trying to travel in April, right, as everything kind of resolves. But like, you know, wait for like towards the end of the year, maybe spring of next year, fly somewhere tropical and chill for a week or like, that would be nice. We'll see what happens with it, but I like, part of me wants to just be like, oh, we'll just fly down and stay with my family down in Florida, and then part of me was like, no, because that's not very honeymoony. Be more appropriate to actually go somewhere like being near family's fine, I guess, but like, you know, asking my aunt if I can crash on her couch for the honeymoon just doesn't feel very romantic. So we'll see what happens with it, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice. My family used to go, yeah, we would take 2 vacations a year. We would go up to Maine for a week and we go down to Florida for a week. It's tempting to bring her up to Maine, but that's also not super tropical. But I think she'd like it. I was always miserable. I don't know if I give off this vibe actively on stream, but Pat, you know that I'm a kind of a computer guy. Very much a fan of connecting to the internet and killing time online. Maine is very remote, or at least the areas that we would go were. So like, you'd be like, no cell service unless you drove down to the nearest city. No internet at the place. Like, it's board games and walking, which, you know, 14-year-old me was not feeling. Yo, that's a shame, man. The travel franchise would have been awesome. Not a huge deal either way. Like, we've got idea, and that's the thing. I think she wants to go to one of those like Bahamas, like beach cabana on the water sort of things, which will admittedly be nice, but I'm not really a hot weather kind of guy, so I got to figure out if I'm gonna see if I can like drag that into like the early spring when it's at least kind of reasonable. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's gonna be I mean, either way, the important thing is we're going to be there with each other. Like, it doesn't really matter what else happens, you know what I mean? But I can find a way to make it like a blast instead of just, oh, that was not a smart choice. Switch training, I guess. That's what we're going to call it. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. I just need to, I don't know, finish making the plans. Yeah, the wedding happens in 2.5 months. Actually, pretty much exactly 2.5 months. So it is time to make choices and actually set some details in stone. I will be calling the caterer tomorrow. So I think we actually just settled on a venue yesterday. You know, not to keep rambling about wedding stuff during the Pokemon stream, but you know what I mean. So we have the venue, I think, picked out. We've pretty much settled on the guest list. Finally, you know, pandemic flavored guest list. Like, it's just been a process. The good news is I don't think we're the only ones struggling with it. I was even talking to the caterer on Tuesday, one of those days, and she was saying that we were the third April wedding that she had spoken to that day about trying to get the plans in order. So it has been a process, to say the least. It's good. So what do we got here? Our battle against the first of the Team Galactic commanders, Commander Mars. I think she has a Scun tank is her pain in the ass that I'm gonna have to fight. So April is not overly popular. Actually, so the date, or in the interest of not putting everything out there just on stream, we're looking latter half of April. Pat, I can give you the exact details if you'd like, but to put it simply, I think like May, June, and July are like the big wedding months, which is part of the reason that this late April date works out nicely, because it kind of gets us in when the weather's going to be kind of nice, but before you really kind of get into the big swing of things. So a lot of times you'll see like venues have like winter and early spring rates tend to be, I don't want to say good, but manageable. And then as you kind of get into like the later spring into the summer, the rates tend to go up in a big way. Like, we're talking near double. Yeah, that's exactly. We're trying to catch it before the rush. Just get in there. In a way, we don't want to overspend for it. You know what I mean? The important thing is that we're going to be there with each other. We're going to get like the paperwork file. We're going to be married. You know what I mean? Late April, nice weather. It's an important date. for us. It is the anniversary of the date that we started dating on. So, like, it's not like it's just some random, well, you know, whenever later. Like, the reason we rescheduled it by a year instead of being like, you know what, let's do it in the early fall, is because the date itself was quite important. Ouch. That means we're gonna super duper lose that fight, so that sucks. Yeah, because I don't think we have any revives. Sorry to totally break the conversation there, but I'm trying to, like, do some math. Patchy berries are for poisons. How hard is Perugly gonna hit us? I don't think we're getting out of it, though, because I've got... No, it's not a poison type. It's just like a thick, regular Pokemon, which cannot miss. Okay, well, I'm not really a double team kind of guy. Alright, that was more than I wanted to see it do. Let's do a little thinking here. What kind of stats do we have to work with? Alright. Let's just pop a Rock Smash and see what it do. Normally, it's thick, though. It's got a lot... It's bulky, it's got good health. Alright, so maybe another one of those, and then pop a healing item and hope for the best? We'll try. Like, I've beaten the game before, I can handle her, I just sort of forgot that... Well, it's an Oran Berry, that's probably fine. So I think we're just gonna... A Form Dex. Depending on how aggressively he would like to define Form Dex, I have one. It's... So, like, I don't have, like, both the Therian and original forms of, like, the Weather Trio from Gen 5. Like, I didn't go quite that far into it, but I do have, like, one of each regional variation as part of the Living Dex. I have one of each unknown form. Oh my god, that's so much damage. I should check and see how many I have. I don't think I have that many. We're gonna have to start healing again. I got 3 more potions. We're just gonna weasel our way through this one. That's a bunch, dude. 1200-ish Pokemon is not insignificant. I am fairly certain I do not have that many. Like, in Pokemon Home, I do have like 2200 Pokemon stored, but an enormous amount of that is like the 8 hat Pikachus. So I actually do have those. I think the codes are still active for those. There are some, like, Magearna is going to be annoying because you have to finish your living Pokédex in order to get the painted Magearna. So that's a thing that you should brace yourself for. Like, there's some annoying ones to get, but I know there's also a lot of, like, I'm assuming we're not counting, like, the 17 Arceus forms in addition to the normal type, because that's just hold items, and they can't hold items in Pokemon Home, so you don't need to get 18 of that particular mythical Pokemon. Also, check it out, we did it. I knew we could. All we had to do was just dump 10 potions down my starter's throat and call it a day. No, it's, and that's a good challenge to work towards, because it also fills in some cracks on something like a living Pokédex, if that is the end goal. You know, because it kind of gets you started with like a smaller goal to work towards, and then that'll fill in some cracks on a broader goal, like an entire dex. There are people out there who are trying to get, and actually a couple of people who I believe have, like, a shiny living dex, which is a bit much. Dude, you've got me wondering what exactly I have. Don't mind me, I'm just opening a bag. Oh, apparently hitting my microphone, because why not? No, we don't need that. And so that's actually a direction that I was kind of torn on. I have my shinies stored separately. So I have a full non-shiny living dex, and then a dedicated string of boxes for any shinies that I may have. The goal there being to just fill it in as needed. Give me a second. We're actually going to take a second and pause the emulator and switch over to this. Assuming this is working. Oh, is this controller dead? This controller might be. Second. Got me totally off topic now. I'm like trying to figure out exactly what I'm working with. No, you're good. This is like I'm the one who's getting distracted. I'm just like enjoying the conversation and trying to figure out what I've got. Oh, do you know if if like the Therian forms are a maintainable form or if that's not really how they work? I'm pulling this up really quick. They are. All right, so you would need to have 2 Thunderous, 2 Landorus, and 2 Tornadus in order for it to work. That's good to know. Let me see. Just kind of an abrupt switch from Gen 4 to Gen 8, but that'll be fun. We'll look through. There it goes. Yeah, I've got 2800. Holy shit, I think I need to release some of those. Let me just kind of sign in, because I've got... Ooh, do you want to do that, like, on the Discord machine? Because that would be wicked. I'm also putting this back. There was a gent not too long ago who was interested in this. I was mulling over trading with him, but didn't pan out. That's okay. No, so here is what I got. I have... Nope, I gotta go this way. I forgot how dense those are. So the entire... Oh yeah, no, take your time, man. I wouldn't be working on that until afterwards anyway. So I've got the entire living dex here. That's just original form. So like if it's a Kanto Pokemon, I have the Kanto form of it here. So it's just the original form that it held all the way through. And the second thing, I have every Alolan form, living dex style. So I've got one of each stage. I've got every Galarian form. I have each of the unknown forms, and then I've got like separate legendaries and stuff from each of the generations, any mythicals, ultra beasts, shinies, event Pokemon. So like I've got it kind of broken out. And then these are just like extra Pokemon from each generation that I might have. So I'm probably reasonably close, with the exception of I know that I don't have a dedicated like the Gen 5 weather trio and stuff. So that is something that would need addressing. Well, I'm here. Let me do points because I want to. I have 440 points. Is that a lot? That doesn't sound like a lot. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's like 20 points is a thing. Yeah, no, this was a bit of a project. This was kind of one of those like, I'm going to just crack open a bottle of vodka and we're just going to kill the evening organizing and getting a little tipsy because it's the best way to pass time. So let me close out of this. Well, I'm glad I found out my controller's dead, so I want to plug that in now so it'll charge up. And I'm going to switch back to the platinum version that we are playing here. But yeah, there are so many different Pokemon, and that's the big argument that I saw people making about why Sword and Shield not having all of the different forms is actually pretty reasonable. And honestly, I kind of get it, because like people are like, oh, it's like 800, 900 Pokemon. It's like, yeah, but it's in excess of 1200 forms. Because I think that, and then when you consider like Arceus having like 18 different forms, and like all like the, what is it? Meloetta has a move that'll switch it from one form to the other. There's like, between all of that, there's like 1300 different forms that would need to be, or different, you know, species / forms that need to be programmed in. Dude, thank you. I will be looking at that. Actually, where's Discord? I'm going to kind of sneak a little peek at it right now because I want to. Dude, this is awesome. Yeah, there are so many things in here. Holy heck. Yeah, I'm going to be digging into this. Yeah, I think I mentioned it last time. Volcanion and Diancie are ones that I wound up getting my hands on through the use of an online forum. Someone who was willing to kind of part. Oh, you're good, man. Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, it looks like you've got a lot of details kicking around in there. No, I wound up finding someone who was willing to kind of barter shinies for mythicals that I kind of had to go through. So, just because they're not being actively distributed now, and I actually, are they in? I don't think they're in Sword and Shield. So you would need to find like a way to get them in the older games. So there's not going to be like an event distribution for Sword and Shield, at least, that's going to give them out. So maybe when Gen 4 launches, like the Gen 4 remakes, if that's a thing, yeah, I think they might be some of the hardest to get mythicals because they were only distributed like once or twice, whereas some of the other ones have been given out a bunch more or are still in current games and can be obtained. Yeah, I would need to see. I know that they don't have Pokédex data, but I can't remember if they're in. I know, like, for example, Mew's in the game, but it doesn't have a Pokédex slot. So I don't remember how exactly that falls. It's obviously, like, not super mega important, but I'm kind of curious. So I'll look it up. In the event that you're looking for Pokédex data, I can totally send them your way, at least so that you can fill it in. Because, like, if you're trying to get the Magearna form, I think you need to register them all. 35 boxes, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so if you have any interest in getting the Pokédex data, let me know. We can kind of set up a trade or something like that just to throw them over, as long as you pinky promise to send them back. So I don't feel like having to find someone to give them away again. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. It's nice to get the rewards for that. What is it? The Painted Magearna is cool. I know it was a form that they advertised a bunch. Back when it came out, it was like one of those, like, it's the mythical, check out these two forms, and then they made the kind of the gray looking one available with a QR code, which interestingly enough still works. So if you have a Sun or Moon save, you can go and scan that QR code and unlock the Magearna. Again, just keep restarting, keep scanning the code. I think you have to be the champion to do it, but it's still active. It's not a timed thing or anything like that, which is really neat. But they never made the painted form available until as a prize for completing your decks at home. Yeah, 200. I can't believe how many Pokemon there are, man. Like, I'm sitting here playing like Pokemon Platinum, and like some weird like old part of my brain. See, I didn't. They did an event distribution for a lot of the mythicals then, and I definitely did not. No, like I'll still, like, I'm playing Platinum right now, and like there's part of my brain is sitting there kind of being like, this is the cutting edge of Pokemon technology. And then like, I know it's not. I know that's a stupid thing to think, but like, I both recognize that the newer games are out and still just sometimes fall into that little trip. So when I sit there and realize there's like 1,300 different forms and 900 different species of Pokemon, it does not compute. That's weird. It's really weird. I mean, I'm happy the franchise is still around, but I'm also, what was that? If you'd like, I can send you a link to the video for this, but I was watching something some dude put together of kind of like the release cycle. Dude, let me tell you. So yes, that's an uncomfortable thought. Let me tell you what a trip it was when they released Pokemon Platinum, and it dawned on me that or when they released Pokemon Sword and Shield, sorry, and it dawned on me that Sword and Shield have less than half, or sorry, they have less Pokemon than Platinum did. So like a game like this has 493 total species, and Sword and Shield only had 400. Like, that was mind-blowing to me. Or the fact that, what is it? Pokemon Go, which is the smartphone game, by the way, has I think Gen 5's a thing in it now. So the smartphone game for a long while, just like the weird kind of third-party side game that's not part of the main franchise, it's not the flagship game, had more species in it than the actual, like, official main series, like, flagship title for the current generation. It's ridiculous to me. I think now they've brought it up to like 600 species, and it might be more, it might be, I'm not sure. It's the fact that I'm not sure doesn't look good. Ooh, it's up to Gen 6. Then it has more than Sword and Shield do, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking it up now. Not just how many Pokemon are each generation. I'm not fact checking you, I believe you. Let me see. Databases. How many Pokemon were there? X and Y went up to 721. So if that's true, then yeah, it's got more than Sword and Shield do. Even if it doesn't, Unova goes up to 649, which is more than Sword and Shield has, I believe. Let me click back in the game so I can do stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing. Go has actually been a good place to go to get some shinies. It's been a good place to go to get some of the mythicals, some of the legendaries, because they've been doing them as like raid bosses and stuff. So like, there's actually some pretty good value in Pokemon Go if you're willing to put the time in. Okay, very cool. Very cool. One of my favorite Pokemon is Aegislash, which is an X and Y Pokemon, so I might need to kind of pop back in and scoop one of those up. Because that's the big thing, like getting Gen 1 Pokemon now is kind of a pain. Like they're there, but they're not as abundant as they were before, so I might want to kind of try and get my hands on a Gen 6 Pokemon. Do I have the Gigantamax one? I know I wound up having to do that. Yeah, so to get Meltan and Melmetal, I wound up doing like the Pokemon Let's Go like mystery box, catch a whole bunch of them, transfer thing. It was a whole giant mess of a thing to do. It's weird. It's a Meltan and Melmetal are mythical Pokemon that are not obtainable in any main series game. I swear I have the G-Max one. I don't remember if I'd need to check, which I will do later at this point. I don't want to keep jumping out of the game, but yeah, the G-Max one's cool. Melmetal's weird. It's a Pokemon that feels like it was not designed by the same people that designed the other Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like it's a Hex Nut, which, sure, I mean, Pokemon have kind of unusual basis, which I'm sure you've seen. Like there's the Carkeys Pokemon. Like it's not like I'm concerned about that, but it's just kind of like this weird sort of nondescript blob of metal for the most. Like most of its body doesn't seem to have any particular level of detailing to it that I kind of have come to expect from more recent Pokemon. I mean, it makes sense. It was probably something where like Niantic worked with like the Pokemon Company to have something built, but it is different. It is. It's fine, you know, I mean, the variety's nice, but it still makes me uncomfortable that there's no way to get it except for playing the Pokemon Go smartphone game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. Don't sand attack me, dick. Good. But yeah, it's, I don't know, Pokemon's been... Yeah, I'll send you the link at some point if I remember to. Unless you have no interest, in which case I won't even bother trying to remember to. But it was a link to a video that this guy was doing, kind of an analysis of what he described to be the rise and fall of the main series Pokemon games. Let me see, pre-pandemic. So that is true. I've seen they've done a lot more stuff to kind of help with being remote and not necessarily being able to just go out and be openly in public. Yeah, I just watched it earlier today, but the dude was basically kind of taking a deeper dive into like the release cycle of new generations, the development time each Pokemon game's gotten, the team size that's worked on it, and just other general stuff that coincides more than you might expect it to with the generally publicly perceived, you know, when the game started to go downhill. You see where we go. Share button. I'm just going to copy the link. I'll send it to you on Discord. I mean, just a moment. Dude, it's wild though. Where's that button? Just so you have it. But it's neat. It's definitely worth a watch if you got like 10 minutes. It does a pretty good job of providing the insight into like what sort of climate's going on at Game Freak. Because the thing, and this is where I think people have been maybe a little unfair to Game Freak, is they are 1/3 of a three-way partnership in terms of ownership and development of Pokemon games. Because there is the Pokemon Company, who, you know, no shit, owns a pretty good stake in Pokemon. Nintendo's got a big hold on it, and then Game Freak has like the development contracts and some other stuff. And people have been really bagging on Game Freak for doing a bad job, and admittedly, I'm not blown away with Sword and Shield, but at the same time, it's not like they're the ones shortcutting, you know what I mean? I have no doubt that they're getting some huge amount of pressure from the other parts of that equation, you know what I mean? It's not like Game Freak's like, let's just do a shitty job, it seems fun. Like, they're definitely being basically told, like, hey, you're releasing this game in 2 years. And they're like, no, we have a 3-year development cycle. And, you know, Pokemon Company's like, no, you don't. You have 2 years. Get on it. But, you know, sucks for them. That's not great. Um, I would enjoy that. I have seen, what was it? They did an interview with, who's the new director? So, I know that Masuda was the director of the Pokemon project for a while, and now they've got the other dude in there whose name I'm totally blanking on, but he was the head development guy for Sword and Shield. He kind of did an interview about that and was sassing people on the topic of like doing some giant mega expansive game, kind of basically being like, I understand why people are asking for it, but it would be terrible. It wouldn't work. It'd be too much. The gameplay just wouldn't pan out. And it's like, okay, maybe, but at the same time, like, you can adjust the game mechanics. You know what I mean? Getting rid of HMs is huge. Honestly, the whole like ride pager function is incredible. I was loving that. Just the fact that you don't need to sit there and, I don't know, waste a Pokemon or multiple slots on multiple Pokemon just to be able to navigate the overworld. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Just doing like a more natural environmental storytelling. The one thing that I will say that I really do appreciate about HMs as a concept, and I'm not saying I want them back, but the idea that, you know, early route, you pass by some innocuous tree, don't think anything of it. But if you have the good sense as a game player to kind of revisit an early route with a team that has access to the HM, you can access additional areas and get yourself extra rewards. I did always like that merit of exploration. So while needing to have things like cut and surf and all that is definitely a pain, maintaining the obstacles that they represent and just making it so that they're more accessible is a big deal, I think. You know what I mean? That's a big thing, because a big part of what made Pokemon special to me was the exploration. You know what I mean? Like wandering around the world. Like I used to love to just beat the game and then basically tear apart the entire region and see if I could find every legendary without looking things up online. I always enjoyed that, you know? So, like, I don't know. It felt like Sun and Moon, for example. They did a really nice job at removing the need for HMs, but it felt like there just wasn't a lot of like revisitation value. You know what I mean? Like you would get access to like the Mudsdale ride to ride the horse over the rough ground, but you would get that right as you needed to cross it in that area, and that type of terrain didn't show up on earlier islands. So there's no immediate value in going back and visiting that like other routes with this new, you know, HM type thing that you've gained access to. So, and that might be part of like the overall world design. Yes. So you know what I mean? That might just be like a development cycle thing. You know what I mean? Once the game is more or less finished, kind of plan for time for the team to go back and kind of build out just a few post-game areas, little unlockables that you can get for, you know, taking the time to revisit. I think that's big. I don't know. HMs as a mechanic kind of suck. Just on the grounds that, like, who wants to waste the slots on the team? But I think in terms of, like, overworld exploration and gameplay, they're worth it. Or at least a good replacement, like a sound replacement, is worth it. Shut up, Google. I don't know. I feel like, so here's the thing. I don't think anyone would ever fight me on this, but Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, Gen 4, very slow games. Like, the gameplay's fine, I enjoy it. A lot of the animations feel slow. It feels like movement is slow. Like, the game just feels slow. And that's fine. It doesn't necessarily need to feel like it's like breakneck speed, super fast. Like, but like when you compare it to Gen 5, which is running on the same hardware, it just feels slow. And that would be my only complaint. Other than that, like, I thoroughly enjoy the game, the world, the story. Like, I like these ones. I really don't want Game Freak to come in and, air quotes, like, remake Generation 4 and just, like, cut the shit out of the story and make it some just, like, follow the instructions and you win sort of game. Like, I enjoyed the way these worked, you know what I mean? Just like putting it on like a faster engine, you know, like reuse the Sword and Shield engine, flesh out the details a little bit more, but then like carbon copy the story. Like, don't mess with it. You know what I mean? Just like, people aren't asking for you to reinvent the wheel. They're just asking for you to like let them go back to their favorite region, but on their new console. You know what I mean? So I would, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with, but I'm waiting anxiously. because I recognize that expecting the world from them may lead to disappointment later. And, you know, I really would rather not be let down. So, I just don't know. I'm anxious. Gen 4 was fun. I'm having fun with it playing. Like, and here's the thing. It actually doesn't feel super slow right now, but I think, like, early game it's fine. The issue that we had was that, like... Oh, come on. Like, if you ever hit a Blissey with a move... like close combat, like it's going to do a lot of damage, but like the HP scrolls like 1 digit at a time. So when you're hitting something that's got like 680 HP, like you'll sit there for like a full 120 seconds waiting for that to scroll. Let me see. Yeah, see, there we go. I got numbers instead of the bar. Like it's just the animations are slow. So that's the issue. Game Freak isn't the last word on what gets made. That is true. The concern that I have is that guys like Masuda, who are sort of the big boss there, have confirmed that they have major reservations about increasing the size of the team. They find collaborating with and working with a smaller team to be easier, which may very well be true. But the fact of the matter is, and you'll see this in the video that I sent you, so I'll kind of spare you some detail on it right now so there's something interesting to watch. The release cycle is getting faster. The number of days, months, or years between generations and between game releases is getting tighter. And I suspect that's outside pressure. And if Game Freak won't budge on the team size, and the release cycle is not going to get any slower, I don't necessarily expect it to get better. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those, like, Game Freak won't budge, but the other companies are still increasing expectations. So while Game Freak's not the last word, they're not really doing a whole lot to help themselves out. So, which sucks, but whatever. Whatever. I turned 30 in a year. Like, maybe it's time I just kind of, like, dial it back with the Pokemon a little bit. Start acting like an adult, play... I guess adults technically don't play video games if my dad's to be believed. He still can't believe that I still play Magic. Which, I don't know if you've heard, but I do. I think I'm pretty okay at it. He doesn't like it. I'm having fun. That's the big thing. But at the same time, like, if Pokemon's going to continue to be disappointment after disappointment, like, I'm not going to be here forever. Like, we will reach a point where it's time to pick a different franchise and just kind of go all in on that one. Like, I've spent an unhealthy amount of time playing Pokemon games, and so it's going to feel kind of like a giant bummer to walk away from it, but, like, I'm not going to pay $60 for, like, some half-finished dog shit piece of, like, it's just some dumbass game, and then have to go back and spend another $20 or $30 on the DLC pack that introduces the things that should have been there in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not continuing to pay nearly $100 for each Pokemon game to get the full experience. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, I don't know. It's the same reason I don't play EA games, is because I'm not interested in being sold back things that should have been there from the get-go. I'm really not interested in just going that route with a franchise that I've liked this long. So, in other news, I have been watching, what is it, My Hero Academia. I mentioned it. Oh yeah, don't. EA games are something that I'm going to elect not to rant about. Here's the thing. I enjoy the games themselves. Like, objective opinion, the games can be pretty good. The issue comes with the business model and how the content gets delivered and the pricing and the... Google it if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. There are some very strong words on the internet from people who play these games who just don't like them. But yes, I'm Pat, you're clearly with me on this one. That's a situation. But no, I've been watching My Hero Academia. I finished everything that is in the anime up through season 4, which I enjoyed. I kind of been kind of mocking it a little bit earlier on. It starts to pull its weight and actually become like a pretty darn good show by the end of the 4th season. I'm going to hold any potential spoilers and not really get into it, but I would say it got overhyped with Managed Expectations, it's worth a watch, but actually Leanne has been watching it with me now. She's kind of going back and getting interested in checking it out as well. And I'm the kind of person who will watch a show and then go back and watch it a second time just to appreciate the little details that I missed, you know, like early introductions of a character that I didn't clock as an important person later. Just fun stuff like that. And she will be done season 2 within the next couple episodes. So we are making good progress on kind of like a second pass through, which I'm excited about. You know what I mean? It's a good show. I've been enjoying it. I was definitely being really hard on it not too long ago, but it is worth the watch, I think. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It was one of those, like, so I do play a fair bit of video games, as evidenced by the fact that I'm doing it right now. It's something that I kind of like to do. I probably play video games somewhere between 5 and 7 days a week, like a lot, barring any, like this weekend I did not, but someone got married and I was participating in that, and there was Valentine's Day, it was a whole thing. So I did not play video games a whole crap load over this weekend, but I tend to play a lot. And what wound up happening was basically someone that I'm friends with was like, oh, you haven't seen My Hero Academia? You have to. And I was like, no, in fact, I don't have to. And he's like, well, we're watching it. And he turned it on over at his place while I was there a little while back. And we watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, God damn it. See, here's the thing. I need to watch the whole thing. Like, I'm not going to watch 2 episodes and then think that I need to go back. I either need to kind of watch the show or accept that I'm not watching it. And I have wanted to check it out because people have really talked about it like it's a great show. So I just kind of like stopped playing video games and was just kind of like watching that show while working on other projects. But see, I watch it subtitled because I don't need to justify that decision to people. I mean, if you're interested, I'll clarify, but that's a whole choice. But no, I wound up basically just not doing my other hobbies and watching that instead. Check it out. And with the benefit of having the time to watch 88 episodes of the show or whatever it comes out to be, like, it's good. That's the huge thing, is like, if you watch it dubbed, you can. I usually don't recommend watching a show for the first time and not paying attention to what's happening. You know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't say like, oh, turn it on in the living room and then go clean the kitchen and just listen. Like, you're gonna miss shit. You know what I mean? Pay some attention. But like, I don't know. Like, you have to sit down, and especially if you watch it subbed instead of dubbed, you need to sit down and you need to read, because you're not going to like hear a character say something and go, oh, I need to know what that was, and go back and back it up. Like, you need to actually be actively reading the subtitles. So it's a time commitment in a big way. It's the reason I haven't watched as much anime as I would like to. Like, there's some good shows out there. There's some shows that I have seen and I've enjoyed the ones that I've watched. Like, I know they're good. I'm having a hard time justifying basically taking, like, doing, like, even like what I'll do is I've been watching through the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a CBS show, but CBS All Access can go screw itself. So I've been watching what they have on Netflix. So there's another story. I've seen Full Metal, oh shit, hit the speed up button. I've seen Full Metal Alchemist 1, like the original old one, but that's because I saw it before Brotherhood was a thing. Like, mid 2000s, I watched through it. It was like, it finished, and then like 2 weeks later, I found a site and just downloaded and watched the whole thing. I enjoyed it mostly because I had no context. I still have not read the manga, but people have clarified some problems that they had with it, and like, I will take their word on it. That's what it sounds like. They kind of basically got ahead of the manga and kind of wrote their own story, sort of Game of Thrones style, and it just kind of went off the rails. I didn't, honestly, God, did not mind it that much. I thought it was fine, but kind of in the same way that, I don't know if you've seen Tokyo Ghoul. It kind of did the same thing. I don't know what the timing was on it, if it came out before or after the manga or whatever, but it kind of did that thing where season 1 was very faithful to the manga. Like, you know, trim some details if they need to, kind of rush some stuff if they need to. So I didn't love it, but it followed the story. And then season 2 just turned around and did some completely opposite thing. Without giving you any spoilers, any major spoilers anyway, there is a group of characters that will remain nameless and undescribed that in the manga, the main character kind of spends his time dismantling, and in the anime, he joins. and the entirety of the rest of the series goes off the rails because his motivations for dismantling that group lead him through all of these other decisions and the story events, and then even the ending. Like, there are characters who die in the anime or in the manga that then don't die in the other one. Like, it ends completely differently, which, by the way, was hilarious when they went and released Tokyo Ghoul Re, which takes place like 4 years after the first one, maybe less. And they kind of had to figure out how to explain how it's a whole situation. Yeah, no, so people have been saying I need to watch Brotherhood, and here's the story on that one. I watched an episode of Brotherhood. Uno, just one. More out of a timing thing. I started watching it with Leanne, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll watch this together, and then we didn't. So I will check it out sometime when I have time to do so. I liked the first one, and I didn't read the manga. I think the big mistake I made with Tokyo Ghoul is someone was like, dude, you totally have to watch it, it's amazing. And I was like, all right, I watched like 2 episodes, I was like, seems good. I don't have time to watch though, so I'm gonna read it when I have time at work. And I read the rest of the manga and was like, holy shit, that was amazing. I need to watch this because the animation style is beautiful, and the anime was just this continuous letdown because I had this expectation that was just episode after episode not delivered on. So, you know, brace yourself. If you're a manga kind of guy, you're going to want to choose one or the other and kind of stick with it. I do wonder, so Full Metal Alchemist got that treatment though. They had Full Metal Alchemist, the manga and the anime, and as we just literally just talked about, the anime sort of did its thing. And then they went back and they kind of retried the anime, this time following the manga, and the general consensus seems to be that it was worth it because the Brotherhood is supposed to be very good, and you seem to agree with that general consensus. Yeah, that's a big thing that I've run into, is finding a good place to read manga sucks. If I could make a recommendation, and I'm going to speak cryptically because it's on stream and recorded, and I don't know if there's any hint of a chance of anyone getting in trouble over this, but I'm just going to leave you with this phrase. Find a VPN. Because of reasons. I believe there's a geography sort of thing in place. Use your VPN, go to Japan, see if you can find Japanese localized sites. There are English fan translations, and you don't kind of end up in that weird region-locked crap. It's the same thing you can do with Netflix and some other stuff. I'm not going to name any specific sites that I use right now, but I can send you something on Discord once I'm done streaming tonight or something like that. It's pretty good. You're going to want to make sure you have ad block on. They're one of those things where, like, I was trying to watch on a tablet, and I was having issues where, like, every time you go to, like, touch or swipe to change pages, you get, like, a pop-up ad that would fly out, open, like, 2 new tabs in your browser and throw you into the App Store. You will definitely want to have something to mitigate that. So, like, I don't know, plan accordingly. Yes, Brave is fantastic. Brave is really good. I use Firefox, mostly because Firefox for Android does let you actually put extensions on. So I can have like my dark mode extension, my password manager, and a bunch of other synchronized stuff that just lets me kind of, you know, it's neat. You know what I mean? Brave was one that I played with for a while. Let me tell you, oh yeah, that's fine. And they actually just did something weird with Firefox for Android a couple months ago, where like the URL bar and all the other stuff is way down at the bottom now. And it's obviously use what you want. Brave, I will say the ad blocking engine that they use in there is like built into the core of the browser instead of being an add-on, so it is extremely fast. I would argue that it is well worth using. I'm sorry, are you not going to fight me? Come on, dude, I'm trying to get the experience. Let's switch to the grass guy because we're on a bridge and that implies water types. Fight? There it is, there's a fight. Yeah, so Firefox, the one nice thing is it does let you kind of like very aggressively customize the layout. I mean, you're still stuck with like tabs up top, bar with shit down below that, but I mean, that's like Chrome and Brave and all that anyway. You can go through and rearrange some stuff, so, and I could show you sometime. I could put it on stream, right? Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to pause this because I feel like it. We're going to go grab one of these. Go to that. So I have mine set up like this. So I've got like the forward, the back, the buttons up here. Downloads are controlled up there. I have all my bookmarks run through here. I've pinned my couple of my favorites and stuff, but my other extensions are run through here, and it's got the menu. So it's actually, I don't know, pretty similar to the way Chrome is structured. If when you go into like the actual settings and stuff like that, it does get a little bit weird. Definitely this screen is a fair bit different than some of the stuff that you're going to get in Chrome, but it's pretty good, I would say. I like it. And really the big thing, LastPass is awesome. Yes. The big thing, and the thing that made that decision for me is the fact that it supports add-ons on Android. So I can install my own separate ad blocker, any other tracker blockers that I want. Like you can kind of get the whole thing dialed in. Larvitar Man Mountain, I would be honored. Where do they, so I'm going to look something up really quick. Using the power of the internet, we're going to go to the, I'm going to put Larvitar on my to-do list. Larvitar's freaking awesome. Rock button. Where does Larvitar appear in this game? Route 206 Swarm details. Am I like totally spacing out right now? Hang on a second. Details. Method Swarm level 5 to 7. Where is Route 206? Route 206 is nearby, actually. Yeah, so let me, is this a town map also, or do I not have the map card? Good. I have a map somewhere, so we're just gonna go find that. So as I understand it, based on what I just read, here is the world, yay! So there's a person down here in Sandgem Town that's not super helpful, but that's fine. It's the little girl who will call out, like if there's a swarm of a Pokemon at any particular place, she will let you know if there's a swarm of Larvitar on this route here. If there is, there's like what is it, 40% chance that they'll show up between levels 5 and 7. So it is a process, but at the same time, I'm here for it. I'll do it. It's like Larvitar is great. Like Tyranitar is a boss, so like I'm not going to say no to that. I just need to, I don't know, get a little lucky with the swarm thing. It's annoying. It is admittedly quite annoying, but Tyranitar is kind of a boss, so I should do a little bit of I don't know, thinking about who else goes on the team. Obviously, we've got a grass ground type here. We've got the Staravia, which is my flying type. Tyranitar is going to be an awesome addition. It is tempting to try and get a Garchomp, but that sets the expectation of leveling up to be fully evolved pretty high. I also, if I'm going to catch Giratina, because the title legendary, I don't need a second dragon. So I probably won't. Tyranitar is still a good fit, though. Tyranitar and Giratina are on the list. Who's 5 and 6 though? We're gonna need a water type so I can do the surfing. I just fish and see what I catch and do that. Water and fire would be good. Just need to think of some water and some fire types. You know what though? I have the Cerebi.net Pokédex open next to me, so I can kind of scroll through and see if anything catches my eye. Wow, Gen 4 has like nothing for fire types. You got the Fire Starter, Magmortar, Heatran, and Fire Arceus. So that I have not actually used a Floatzel before, so I think that's probably going to be the play. Actually, thank you for that. Magmortar's good, but like it's a trait evolution, and this do happen to be an emulator, which poses a small issue in that regard. So I'm going to need to find like a previous gen fire type. Can you get an Eevee? You can just catch Eevee in this game, can't you? Let me see. I think it just appears in the trophy garden. So where do we get Fuego Ironworks, Solacean Ruins with the dowsing machine, and Stark Mountain with the dowsing machine. Well, looks like we're going to the Ironworks then. I think a Flareon and a Floatzel are going to be two very nice additions to the team. So let's keep battling, because that was maybe a little bit too much time to spend deciding if we're going to switch for a Magikarp. But yeah, so that would make the team a Torterra, a Staraptor, Floatzel, Flareon, Giratina, and Tyranitar. EVZ Gift and Hearthome. All right. You know, I'm looking at the screen for the other shit. I can let me just click on the thing and see exactly where it shows up. EV. Okay, so yes, it's actually both of those things. It is a gift Pokemon in Hearthome City, and it is one of the daily Pokemon in the Trophy Garden. It's one of those things where, like, you go and talk to the one dude, and he'll hit you with, like, oh man, something blah blah Eevee's happening, and then it'll show up in the Trophy Garden. But there's a bunch of different species of Pokemon that could be the daily Pokemon there. So let me see what we can do here. The Trophy Garden. Oh my god. The daily Pokemon list is ridiculous. And then I gotta go to the Ironworks. Where is the Ironworks? I don't think the town map will actually tell you. You know, can we just, like, take a shortcut into the town really quick? I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm pretty sure in the thing here, they actually have a full town map that I can... No, it's still grayed out. Are you kidding me? But I want to find out where the, Alright. Well, we're clicking buttons on the computer then, because I still want the answer. Where that son of a biscuit is Fuego Ironworks? Click. Well, it looks familiar. Small factory found upstream from the river on Route 205. Sure. Oh. It's back the way we just came. Its south exit is to the Floroma Meadow. Oh, hang on. You know what? Now I'm like clicking more buttons. Yeah, so it's out. It's a later game sort of thing. Not late per se, but not right now. It's out through the water around here. This, like, we're on Route 205, so it's somewhere in the vicinity of all of this. So, okay. That's fine. We will get back to that. I don't need to have a Flareon right now. I actually did get an Umbreon for my last playthrough in Crystal version, so we'll just kind of appreciate that for what it is. Dude, it has been... The last time I played through... so the gift Eevee's close, but I need to get a Firestone so that I can evolve it. No, the last time I played through Gen 4 was like 2017, 2018. I actually bought a brand new Platinum version online and played through that because I needed I needed Pokemon for my living decks, and I had lost my Platinum, so I found someone on eBay who was selling theirs unopened, brand new for 35 bucks. So I bought it and opened it, thus destroying its collector's value, but completing my decks, which has its own even more different type of collector's value. So it's good. We had fun. What are we doing here? It's Goldeen. We're gonna keep battling. So when you say jankiest copy, are you talking like blank cartridge that someone just like flashed a ROM onto to sell, or are we talking like something else? I've seen some people ship like weird crap when you get stuff like that. Because there are, I forget what they call them. There are flashable cartridges. Micro SD card, no cartridge. Hey, if it works, it works. My copy of Platinum that I'm playing on right now is just some sort of file on a computer. That's funny. Yeah, so there are, what are we forgetting? Hang on. Bite's good. Goodbye that. Yeah, so you can get those things. They're it looks like a DS game cartridge, but it has just like either like a USB port or a micro SD card like yours does, and you're supposed to be able to just load ROMs onto it. So you could probably pop that micro SD card out and swap out the Soul Silver file for something else and play that. So as long as you can download the ROM, which I would like to go on record and say I do not endorse, then you should be able to just play all of the games, which would be really cool. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, so the other half of that would be, and I'd need to see how it works. Do you have a separate micro SD card somewhere? You don't need to necessarily answer that. Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering is if the adapter that you're talking about, the DS cartridge thing with the micro SD slot, if that is a sorry, I'm kind of thinking and brain lagging. If that holds its own firmware, all you need to do is put the ROM file on the SD card and swap it out. If you need to have some sort of firmware on the memory card, yes, that would be a problem. But you could try it. I can't imagine that pulling the memory card out is going to do any harm. So you could like pop that out, plug in your own, just see what it does. If you have an old laptop with a memory card reader that you don't care about, you can plug it in there and just see what it does. It'd be cool, dude. Just start down, like get like a terabyte memory card and just download every DS game that ever existed and just put them all on there. Yeah, I think it probably uses something similar to the way that like the old Action Replay DS worked, where it kind of includes a launcher of its own, and then once you load it up, it kind of can let you select from the contents of its own internal memory and then run that, and it'll kind of pass through to the console directly. Not familiar with it. I haven't used one before. I've wanted them for a little while, and then the DS stopped being a relevant console and I stopped wanting it, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. So I'm looking at my stream layout and it's being freaking weird. That looks a lot better. Fixed it. I must have clicked something when I was fooling around earlier. Yeah, there were... So the Action Replay that I used to have had a... Can we fish? Is there a fishing guy? I'm like definitely paying attention though, I promise. Yeah, it had the slot for the game to go in, and then it had a micro SD slot on the side, and you could take save backups. And then you could, and I never actually needed to, but you could supposedly flash that save back onto your onto your game. So like I had friends who would claim, all right, sure, thanks, Gradinia. Yeah, he would go catch his legendaries for the game, trade them away, flash his old save, go catch them again, trade them away, flash his old save, so he could just basically generate unlimited legends and other kind of like hard to get Pokemon, which is, you know, interesting, I guess. I never tried it. I was afraid that I was going to like ruin my save, and by the time I got something like that, I already had, you know, like 250 hours logged on my save, and I was going to be really upset if I wound up losing something. But yeah, there's all kinds of neat stuff that you can do out there. As long as you're not like married to your save file, you can kind of take a little bit of risks with it. I actually don't know what homebrew is, by the way, but I'm going to Google it right now because I can. I'm so bad at typing. 3DS. Homebrew software. That's actually pretty cool sounding. I'm probably going to don't do that because I super duper like my my DS. But it sounds neat. Yeah, that's fair. I moved. So what I wound up doing, I think we talked about this. Maybe we didn't. I moved my entire living decks and most of my favorite Pokemon forward into home. I did, however, leave behind basically my playthrough team for each game that I kind of harvested from. My idea there being that if I need to go back into the game for one reason or another, I have a team that can hold its own. The only Pokemon I left in Sun and Moon was my Chain Battle Smeargle, which I'm trying to remember, what does it have? It has Icicle something. It's the one that lets it throw icicles over and over and over again. It's got Recover, it has a Lepa Berry, it has Recycle, and something else. It's annoying. And basically the idea is unless you can hit it so hard that you can knock it out in one shot, it will always be able to recover. Oh, it has False Swipe to guarantee I can put you at 1 HP. Yeah, and that's like, it's come in handy because like in Sword and Shield, I am working on putting together a Trick Room team, and I want to try and make some of the Pokemon on it shiny, so I needed to go back to catch Pokemon in a particular Pokeball that I like, and being able to get back into the old games and actually just go catch something was nice, because I have a living dex, but I was not particularly careful about how I caught the Pokemon that's part of the living dex, so a lot of them are just on Ultra Balls and Fast Balls and Quick Balls and whatever else there is that's got a good catch rate. I was actually thinking about just restarting and playing through Alpha Sapphire for my own entertainment, to be honest. So I wasn't the biggest fan of Gen 3, mostly because I played Gen 1 and I played Gen 2, and Gen 3 just kind of felt like, yoink, we're taking away the extra region and the extra gyms and the extra everything and giving you only 8 badges, and then that's it. And it just left a bad taste in my mouth. So when the Gen 3 remakes came out, I just kind of had a little bit of a bad attitude about them. You know, like, I enjoyed the games well enough, but like I didn't sit down and thoroughly explore the world. I know they had like the Hoopa warp rings that had legendaries in them. I didn't really experiment with that at all. Like, I definitely didn't take it very seriously, and I have since just completely drained all my Pokemon from it. So there's definitely, like, I could go back and get, I'm sure, a fair bit of replay value out of it. I just need to actually do it. So I don't know, that might be on my to-do list. I might turn that into like an anime thing though, because like you don't need to, like I've been watching Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Netflix while playing Call of Duty, because I'm just trying to get some experience and level up some guns, so I'm not like way dialed into the experience. So I'll throw Netflix on one screen and I'll play the game over here, and it's fine. Pokemon is not an active, like, you need to be eyes on at all times type game, so like I could turn that into like an anime watching game. I'll just go cruise around Hoenn and just kind of half-ass watch an anime. Let me see. That's probably fair. So the big issue that the old, like Gen 1 and this goes double for Gen 2 had, was the way their internal flash memory worked. And I'm sure you've looked this up and probably not, but I'm going to say it anyway, is it was volatile memory, meaning it needed to have an electric current in order to stay active. So if the internal battery on the game card died, your save data was lost. Gen 1 did struggle from that sometimes. You would just kind of run into issues where, you know, whoopsie, you have a little bit of bad luck and that battery just didn't have it. And so even though it should theoretically have lasted for 10, 20 years, however long, you know, it died after 2. And, you know, darn. You know, or it could be just a straight up defective card, maybe not a battery thing. Like, that's hard to say. I'd need to look at it in order to know for sure. But Gen 2 had the same thing, but they felt the need to include a real-time clock. So even when you're not playing the game and your game cartridge is sitting in the corner, the battery is on, keeping time. So while Red, Blue, and Yellow would usually hold their save data for like 12 to 15 years, was around when I noticed mine stopped working. I got mine in 98, and I no longer had save data in like 2012. So like it lasted for quite some time. Gen 2, the battery died in like 2 years. Because it was using the same battery, but it was being kept on like constantly tracking instead of just keeping the save data fresh, which sucks. Gen 3, they finally switched to non-volatile memory, so if the battery died, all that happened is the clock stopped, but everything else still worked. So, you know, you can't grow berries anymore, but like you don't just lose your entire save. So, and there were definitely, like, it's not like Gen 3 was bad, you know what I mean? Like, they're just from a core technology upgrade, that's awesome, because now your save data is not just constantly at risk. I believe they ran at 60 FPS. They had like 16 or 32-bit color support. I think it's 16-bit color. Like they had like actual color depth. There were animations added to some of the sprites that beat what was in Crystal version. Like there was good value, but like it was one of those things where the post game was just less. Like a lot less. Like beat the Pokemon League, and then there's the Battle Tower, which I was never very good at until, I don't know, Gen 4 was the first time I tried to do it in any level of seriousness. So it felt like they robbed the players of a broader post game. And I was the kind of guy who had maybe 2 friends that played Pokemon, so a lot of my experience with Pokemon was in the post game. You know what I mean? You know, go back and fight the Pokemon League more to level up some Pokemon, go to the Battle Tower and fool around and stuff like that. So when with Gen 2 games, beat the Pokemon League and you've got an entire second region to explore, it just felt like there was so much more value there than Gen 3 had. Looking back, Gen 3 was an excellent generation. The case could be made for it to have been the best generation of Pokemon. There are people out there who just won't legitimize anything other than Gen 1, but you know, screw those guys, I guess. I don't know. Gen 1 was very good, but it was the first try. Gen 3 was a very, very good generation if you can appreciate it without the context of what came immediately before. You know what I mean? Like, it was the first time that it felt like a game just strictly removed a feature. You know what I mean? They've kind of gotten in the habit of that. They like added Mega Evolution just to take it away. You know, like they've added Z moves just to take them away. Like they put in a feature just to pull it back, and that's become a more regular kind of thing for Game Freak to go through. But that was the first time it felt like they released a second game that was not strictly better. It was generally better. You know what I mean? Like I don't mean to imply that it sucked, but like it's not like it was just like indisputably 100% better, no questions asked. And that always bugged me. Yeah, and that is the big thing. I really did enjoy Mega Evolution. It's not like it was without balancing issues, but I thought it was a lot of fun. Z moves, I liked less. It was fine. I would have preferred Mega Evolution, but in those games, you could have both if you wanted. They didn't add new Mega forms, but they kept them, so you could put them in. I don't particularly care for Dynamax. I prefer Z moves over Dynamax, if I'm being completely honest. Like, not by a lot, but like if you told me to pick one, Z moves, I guess, are a little more interesting. But I don't know, Mega Evolution just like felt like they nailed it, and then I don't know, it felt like they turned around and were like, you know what, never mind, let's do it worse. You know, just kind of a bummer. It's okay. And that's the big question, is how much of it is the fault of like the internet making it so easy for like people to just bitch at like an enormous scale and just like strong arm companies into doing stuff, you know? Yeah, admittedly, Dynamax is not bad. Dynamax does offer a nice, oh, that is a fight, cool. Dynamax does offer a comfortable balance between those two, because it's like Z moves style moves for 3 turns. They're higher power, they come with different added effects. Admittedly, very Z move E, but it includes any Pokemon. Like that was kind of the big, I don't know, issue with Mega Evolution, is that there were only like 25 of them. You know what I mean? So like if you wanted a Mega, well, here's your select pool of Mega Evolutions. Like it's not like every species could do it, you know? So, but that's the kind of thing that like with time going by, well, add more. Like that's the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like they did that when X and Y came out, there were some. And then when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, there were like more Pokemon that could Mega Evolve. They could have just kept that train rolling and filled in the difference, but I don't know. I enjoyed the Mega Evolution mechanic quite a lot. I had teams that were kind of built around the idea. It was fun, but yeah, it's not that Dynamax is bad. Come on, what is happening right now? Okay, that's good. Yeah, Dynamax is good. It's a fine mechanic. I don't know. I feel like they could have instead just gone in and balanced Mega Evolution a little bit more. They could have even just put a clock on Mega Evolution and been like, yeah, that was a Kalos thing. In Kalos, they can just Mega Evolve endlessly. Outside of Kalos, they don't have Mega Energy as much. So, damn, 3 turns. Like, they could have reined it in, but I don't have a perfect answer to it. I'm not a game developer. I can kind of whine about it, but that's not always productive. But you know what I mean? Like, they've definitely gotten in the habit of like, here's a new feature. Never mind. Here's a new feature. You know what? Nah, let's do a different one. It's just, it's inconsistent. It's one of those things where like, I spent a lot of time building a, like a good Mega Evolution centric team. And it feels like the carpet got pulled out from under my feet on it. And it was the big reason that I wasn't initially going to get Sword and Shield was not only did I lose Mega Evolutions, which I had spent a lot of time just balancing my teams around, but other Pokemon on my team weren't going to be there. Like, yeah, for example, was referring to the nerf, like Mawile is awful without it. Mawile was incredible with it. Without it, no, not even close. Kangaskhan, Lopunny, whatever, you know what I mean? That the rabbit boy with the ears, it's in this game. One that was weirdly good if you could find a comfortable way to balance it on your team was Beedrill. Mega Beedrill was a freaking monster. Like, I'm pulling it up now just to showcase it a little bit, just to prove that I'm not a total dum-dum, but like, holy jeez, I'm gonna pause the game, we're gonna grab this, we're gonna switch to this guy. Mega Beedrill. So, first of all, looks neat. Major appreciation for the styling on it. I'm gonna see if I can scroll down and not include his stats for a second. So, Beedrill's base stat total 395. Fine. Attack base total 90, so it can peak at 306, so it can hit reasonably hard, but its speed can never exceed 273. And if you're going for the big attack stat, you're actually pinned at 249. So like maybe you can give it a choice scarf or something to kind of bump the speed. Like there's ways to compensate, but it's just, it doesn't have a lot of bulk. Its HP's not that great. Like it wasn't that strong of a Pokemon. But look at this. Base 150 attack, base 145 speed. You can make it have 427 speed and 399 attack if you choose to split it that way. Now, its special attack has a base total of 15, and it's only got 40 and 80 on the defenses, so it's not a bulky Pokemon at all. It's a major glass cannon, but it's got, what's the ability for it here? Adaptability. Same type attack bonus, switches from 1.5x to 2x, which is huge. It makes it hit more like a critical hit rather than just the same type attack bonus. And there's a move that it could learn. Fell Stinger. Base power 30, which is not great. But when the user knocks out a target with this move, the user's attack stat rises sharply, goes up 2 stages, which takes your 400-ish stat and makes it an effective 800 for the rest of the fight. One successful kill with Fell Stinger on a high-speed Beedrill, and you... I miss that. Like, that kind of, like, I don't know, trying to find a way to integrate some kind of surprise. Like, Beedrill was not a good Pokemon. Yeah, no. Sun and... I enjoyed the fact that Beedrill was never really a great Pokemon, even all the way back in Gen 1. Beedrill was not a particularly powerful specimen. You know what I mean? Like, stats, fine. Speed's not super high, so it's not getting great critical hits. Leech Life, oh yeah, no, dude. And here's the thing, you could have a Mega Beedrill in Sun and Moon, I think. Probably. This is 7. Yeah, dude. And then now we have Dynamax, where it's just any Pokemon, which is nice, but then it's just, oh, it's just kind of tall now. More HP, neat. Megastones were weird. Let me see. What's the, so there should be an item dex over here. I want to see. So for a while I've been working on getting a Beedrill in Sun and Moon, and then I forget why I stopped. But alphabetical, I can do this. B. Come on, am I like an idiot? There it is. Beedrillite. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It was a Battle Tree drop. And then they did some just, okay. Yeah, so it looks like they like, yeah. I don't know. I miss it a little bit. Let me switch back to the DS though for now, for the sake of being at least mildly on theme with what the description says. Yeah, the fact that Dynamax works for any Pokemon, super nice. The fact that, I don't know, it doesn't really do a whole lot. Like you can increase the HP of the Pokemon by increasing its Dynamax level, so that's kind of cool, I guess. You know, like, it's not that it's bad. It's not that it's bad, but I don't know. It feels like they tried to nerf Mega Evolution and hit it maybe a little too hard. You know what I mean? And not to mention the fact, and like, let's chat about this for just a second, because now I'm on a tangent here. The fact that some of the Gigantamax forms are just, like, worse than their normal forms. Like, let's talk about Gigantamax Charizard. Stylistically, super cool. I love the design. I love the flame wings. I love the shapes on its tummy. It's just, it's a very, very cool Gigantamax form in terms of the art style. How about the fact that it's like the thing that makes a Gigantamax move different than the Dynamax one is like the G-Max form just gets a different attack. So instead of getting Max Flare, you get G-Max Wildfire, I think. Max Flare hits with a fire type move, turns on Sun. So for the next 5 turns, fire type moves do extra damage, water type moves do less damage, done. G-Max Wildfire is very cool, but it instead of setting up Sun, basically sets up like a really powerful fire spin. So for like 2 to 5 turns, it does extra damage afterwards, which can be nice if the Pokemon survives, but you have 2 problems. 1, it doesn't set up Sun, meaning future G-Max Wildfires don't do extra damage. They do the same base rate instead of the increased damage you get from the Sun on the first one, so turn after turn, you will get more value out of just Max Flare. And if you KO a Pokemon with G-Max Wildfire, you don't set up that reoccurring damage at all. It just gets no added value. It might as well have just been a big flamethrower at that point. Like, there are multiple, and there's a video, what's the guy's name? M&J TV, Michael. If you're a Pokemon YouTube kind of guy, check that out. But he did a video where he basically went through and did, like, for every G-Max form, what's better, the Dynamax or the G-Max? And somewhere in the neighborhood of half of them, the G-Max move is just worse than the regular Max move. Yeah, dude, so the Focus Punch, that's just going to be Max Knuckle, but it's only base 95, and like, what Focus Punch is 150, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's got the whole, like, tighten your focus if you get hit. Oh, no more focus for me, I can't hit you. So, like, it's not without its flaws, but I'm gonna make sure I didn't screw something up here. Give me just a second. Cool, I think we do be good. Yeah, I just don't see how that works. You know what I mean? Like, the whole shtick is that they're supposed to be better, and they're not. It's just not better. It's worse. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to risk not hitting, but it does so much less damage, it's like not worth doing. And And the other confusing one is where you have like a move with like base 75 power and another one with like base 110 power. And like once they're the max move, you have like their max power is like 135 and 125. Like they're borderline the exact same power. Yeah, even though the moves themselves are so different. I think if you remember how Z moves worked, it kind of feels like Dynamax just makes every move a Z move, which is fine, whatever. But like Z moves let you do some funky stuff with status moves, and like there was more variety to it. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a worse version of Z moves, but also a worse version of Mega Evolution, but in a way that's not overly compelling. Let's put it this way. It's in a way that I'm fairly certain Smogon rules, which we were talking about last time, just don't, like, no Dynamax in Smogon. Their tiers don't account for it. Like, you're just not allowed to. Unless they've changed it, but when the tiers were first launched for Sword and Shield, Dynamax just wasn't allowed. They may have changed it, because I think GMAX Gengar is banned to Ubers, so they may have a tier system that allows for it to be in or something, but like Mega Evolutions weren't banned. Z moves weren't banned. It feels like Dynamax is a swing and a miss to fix a problem that could have been fixed with a more delicate touch. So, not to keep whining about it, you know what I mean? I like Mega Evolutions. They were cool. They were super neat, and then somebody got rid of them. On the flip side, that's 2 badges now? 2-ish? Approximately 2? There's an item over there. I want it. It's behind these trees. Haha. Also, what time o'clock is it? 11:15-ish? I think here's the plan for now. I am going to go up to that building, up north yonder. This is not the building I wanted to go to. Do I have cut? Did I space out? I might have cut. Let me check the thing. This one, I do have cut. Who's learning cut? I'm thinking it's my starter, because he's lucky like that. Sorry, Cornera, but... well, Absorb looks like shit, so that's fine. I think we're gonna go into the thing, save the one dude, get a bike, and then probably just, I don't know, clock out for the night. I have work tomorrow. I've been off for 5 days, so I'm not, I don't know, stoked for that. Stupid work. Oh, right, Looker. Forgot about you, friend. What do we got here? I'm going up here. Honestly, the name of the game is get all of the experience. You know what? There's a different name of the game. The name of the game now is Go Heal really quick, because I just realized I didn't. And HP is mucho important for winning battles. So we're going to go do that. But yeah, I don't know. Good progress with Platinum. Wednesday, I think, is going to be Call of Duty something. My brother got me a most generous birthday gift in the form of Call of Duty points, which I spent on a ridiculous gun. Pat, if you've been playing Modern Warfare, you've probably run into this one. I don't totally agree with the way it works, but it's hysterical, so I bought it anyway. I got the weapon pack that has the 8-bit dismemberment effect. So when you hit someone and kill them, they explode into a bunch of Tetris pieces. It definitely feels like it attacks the sense of realism that Call of Duty acts like it wants to have. So like, but at the same time, it's super brightly colored and completely ridiculous, and I love it. So I have that. I'm in the process of leveling the P90. I already have it gold. I'm in the process of leveling the assault rifle up so that I can use that, just because it seems amusing to me. So I might be working on that for a little bit. I might play some Warzone for a little bit. I'm glad to hear that you like it though. It's like some people didn't. What did you think? All right, so it's too late to get it now, I think. But there was a pack they did around Halloween where they had like characters from horror movies, and that's where you see the people who have like the jigsaw guy and stuff. But they had a guy who had an AK-47 with some crazy like electrical piping hose stuff all set up around it, and when it hits people, it explodes them into lightning, and like it's wild. I kind of wanted to get that one too, but then I didn't because I'm a chump. But yeah, I need to grind that gun up some. That's going to be a little bit of a process. I am looking forward to using it though. Yeah, I have bought probably a few too many at this point. I bought the one that came with the Bruin that had the shadow dismemberment. Yeah, the AK looked nice. I bought the one that had a ghost with the scythe on his back. I've bought a handful of them at this point. It's one of those, like, I shouldn't be proud of how many of them I've bought because of reasons, but I am glad that they're continuing to let all those operators and weapons be used in Warzone. I will say, I probably would not have bought the pack with that Bruin had I expected them to nerf it quite as hard as they did. A lot of times when, like, I don't know, I'm having a hard time thinking of an example off the top of my head, but like when they, like when I play a game and there's a balance issue, usually the balance patches are gentle. Namely meaning like they'll nerf whatever needs to be nerfed, but they don't like, the intent isn't to like hit it in the face with a bat. It's more like, you know, gently shave off a little bit of the power, let it be a high performer, but like don't have it have a commanding lead. You know what I mean? They ruined the Bruin. I spent like 20 bucks on that pack. It was like feeling like hot shit, having this cool gun that's like ultra high tier and it's got a great dismemberment effect, and then they just like completely blew it out like 2 weeks later. And it's like, I wouldn't have spent the 20 bucks on that pack had I expected it to just completely suck, but by then it's too late to ask for a return. It's kind of a bummer. It actually made me very hesitant to buy packs in the future, so I only buy them if there's something outside of just the gun that I want. You know what I mean? Or, like, I won't buy based on expected performance of the gun. You know what I mean? Like, I bought the one with the ridiculous dismemberment effect because it made me chuckle. Shadow tracers are neat, dismembered effects neat. Like, I'm trying to make sure that whatever I get now, if I choose to buy more packs, it is very specifically about my appreciation for the style of the skin, and then it has nothing to do with my expectation of how the gun may perform long term, because apparently balance patches deserve some air quotes when we're talking about what Activision's going to do. So that's fun. Because they balanced it by just like cutting its legs off. Which, like, sure, you know, I guess now it's got a lower center of gravity, but it also sucks and nobody wants it. So yeah, that's the big thing. So I've been working on that. I've got the ghost pack where you shoot people and they have like the little spooky ghosties that come out. That's pretty cool. Like, there's some neat stuff. None of the other guns that I've bought have been like just like strictly amazing though. You know what I mean? Like, I've been buying mostly after that one. That was kind of like my big screw up. The ghost skin with the scythe is really cool. I really enjoy having that one. Then I've got, what's his name? Velikan? The other dude with like the creepy black mask with the thing. You got the Sakura Ram 7. I've got the one with the green tracers. So I picked it up a while ago. I should check that out. The Sakura tracer pack seems really neat. I know Leanne got the purple tracer pack that came with a Grow, I think it was. I think it was a Grow. It's probably, yeah. Yeah, I've picked up a handful of them. The Ram has been, so I followed someone's advice pretty early. I like ranked up the M4 like really high and was using it pretty aggressively, and then one of my friends was like, dude, you keep missing shots, why don't you try using the M13? It's got like no recoil, and I fell in love with that gun. The Ram 7 feels like a really nice step up though, because while it does have a little more recoil, it's not bad at all, and it hits reasonably hard and has good range. You know what I mean? Like, it's a solid gun. I've been really enjoying using it. I still have an M13 loadout built around it, but yeah, it is a fast gun that just, it performs well. at like especially at medium range, you know what I mean? So I've been coupling that with like the what is it, the Pila, the RPG that chases shit. So when I've been playing Warzone, you were on with me the other day. I don't remember if I did anything funny with it, but like I've been shooting down helicopters and crap. Yo, I'm still freaked out about that one dude with the crossbow when we were on the roof. It was like you, me, Leanne, and Josh. That dude was an incredible shot. Like, not to get too off topic, but holy heck, that guy was blowing my mind. Oh man. Yeah, the one thing that we got lucky about was they were closer to the gas than us, so they had to jump off their roof before they got another clear shot at us. But that mode there made me realize that maybe next time if I get on with you guys again, I should bring like a sniper rifle of my own or something that I can try and fire back at them, because that was not good. I'll keep you in the loop on that one for sure. I think I probably will. If I'm doing Warzone, it's kind of capped at 4 just by merit that quads is the biggest you can do. If I end up doing team deathmatch, it's like 6 or 7, whatever the max party size is for something like that. So I will, I'll definitely keep you open. Soft yes, though. I expect to have some room. Then I don't know if Josh will want to join, if we have anyone else, or if it'd just be the 3 of us. There are a couple other guys on the Discord server. I've played a few rounds with Jake, who I've been thoroughly enjoying. He's the one whose name is That's My Purse, I think. So you may see him on with us at some point. Let me close that. We're gonna don't switch and keep getting that experience, because we have cut and we are a little bit over leveled. I think it's time that I figure out how to get my hands on another team member. In fact, that's probably going to be how I start next round, is catching. I'm really liking the idea of getting the Floatzel on the team. Thank you for that, by the way. Dude, that guy made me want to level up the crossbow a little bit. Like, I tried it and I was not good with it, but like I was kind of like, wow, this sucks. This gun's terrible. And then that dude was kicking our asses with it. And I'm kind of like, all right, so apparently it's just a skill ceiling thing. So now I kind of want to figure it out. Like, that would be a lot of fun, you know, sitting down and working at it. Let's see here. I don't want to go to sleep. Come on. Pretty sure we had a chesto berry in our bag though, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that real quick. Status healers. Yeah, we do. There it is. So let me see. We've done some squad sticks and stones. Is that a different game mode then? I know they've got the hard point and some of the other ones there. Sticks and stones, just like another playlist sort of thing that takes you down a specific set of maps or runs with an alternate set of rules. I'm not super familiar with it. It's probably something along those lines. Black Ops 1 and 2, dude. It's been... Oh, wait. Oh, there's an item. Hang on. It's been a bit. So, what was it? I got a PC as kind of like a graduation gift from high school. The idea behind it was that I was going to school for computer science. And my parents were like... Wait, see, okay, so if it's based around what weapons you can use, you can totally fake it, because as long as everyone kind of makes like a gentleman's agreement to not be a dick, like, you can absolutely make that work. I'm going to heal, by the way, really quick. But yeah, no, so I played Modern Warfare 2 because it came for free with the PC that I got. It was one of those, like, I ordered it from Cyberpower, and they have one of those, like, bundle deals where you pick out some parts and then they'll ship you the computer with some codes for Steam. So I played Modern Warfare 2. I was atrocious at Modern Warfare 2. I played a lot of the online, never got more than 3 or 4 kills in a match. It just wasn't good. I got a PlayStation 3 because I'm smart, and I thought having a gaming PC, which at the time was reasonably high end, like it cost me like $1,200 just for the tower. Then I needed to like buy a Windows license and some other stuff separately. So like it was a good machine for like, you know, summer 2010 era specs. I can get you the spec sheet if you're at all curious. That was actually the last time I went AMD on a build. So I had an AMD Phenom processor in there, their Phenom 6-core thing from way back when. But no, so I had that. I got the PlayStation, got Black Ops 1. and then just didn't play Call of Duty for, 8 years. And then this game came out, and a couple friends of mine were like, dude, you gotta check it out, man. The Modern Warfare one's really good. I've been playing Warzone. I was like, all right, so I'll check it out. I picked it up, and I freaking love it. And I've been playing a lot of it. Like, next time I'm on stream for Call of Duty, which should be Wednesday, so 2 days from now, I'll pull up like the player stats on it. I've only had the game since like September, maybe. Like, I don't know. That's a fair bit back now, but the amount of time I've spent in games so far is probably not a good thing. Next special, dude. Come on. Okay, that works. We win. But yeah, I never played that. I actually haven't even played zombies. So I have Black Ops Cold War, and I haven't played the zombies mode on that. Split screen stuff, dude, like way back, like Xbox. I would say Xbox One, but that's not what it's called. So I have to call it like Xbox 1.0 or Xbox, but like the old one. Not a huge fan of that, but it's okay. Ooh, we are almost through, and the team's actually in like sort of all right shape, I think. Yeah, no, because the other thing that I had is back around then, I had a gaming PC. And Modern Warfare 2 was my first like shooter. Like before that, I had a Wii, I had a GameCube, I played a fair bit of Smash Bros, but that's about it. Oh, we can just totally ghost this guy and pick this stuff up. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I had never really played any shooters. I'd never really done any of that stuff. All my friends had Xboxes or PlayStations, and I was on a gaming PC. Like Modern Warfare, like 2019, like the one that you and I were playing just the other day, is the first like video game that I've played online with friends proper. Like that was like not a thing for me before. So dude, 4 TVs, 4 360s, LAN party, I love it. Dude, I've never done something like that. Yeah, so a thing that I'm very sure did not help was we had, and I shit you not, we had dial-up internet. Like, the kind of internet that goes over a phone line, just to make sure that you understand that I am not, like, it's the correct term. We were using dial-up AT&T over the telephone line, like, can't talk on the phone and go online at the same time type internet until 2007. And then we got, and I need my hands free for this, high speed 5 megabit per second internet, which, I mean, we were on like a 42 kilobit per second line before. So, 5 megabits, like, whew, it's a lot, 'cause it's 5,000 kilobits. But like, there was no gaming on that. I had like a Wii, which had built-in Wi-Fi, but like, even now Nintendo's servers aren't exactly what I would call impressive. Back then, nope. So I was like strictly offline multiplayer with siblings, and that's kind of it until like now. I have my own apartment. That router that you can't quite see because it's out of frame is like super nice and ridiculously fast. Got gigabit internet, and I play with friends, and I love it. Wow. That's unfortunate because they're probably going to heal. Good try, Sandy. Sorry, Pat, I'm like focusing up for a second. I guess cut and hope for the best. Alright, so we might actually win this if we get a little lucky on the roll here. Yay, we did it! We are the winners, and it's like 11:30, which is a reasonable enough time for me to shut it down, especially since after talking about it, I'm super duper totally going to switch over and play Call of Duty for a little bit before bed. There we go. So we beat the purplish, pinkish one. We're good. The team survived, but is a little rough around the edges. Team Galactic was kind of a cool bad guy team, if we're being completely honest. Let's see, so we're going to go ahead and... yeah, well, let's go get the bike before we shut it down for the day. We'll kind of do like a little wrap-up thing. So, just to clarify where we are right now, at least, I have 2 badges, which is one more than I had yesterday. We did take down Rourke's gym before I shut it down last time. We made it through the forest, got the second badge, ran into some jerk here in this building who's like stealing people's shit. Set them straight. We're in a good place because I'm going to scoop up the bike before I shut it down now. So we're going to be able to get cruising. I think with access to cut now, I might start heading back to Sand Gem Town and see if maybe, you know what, should we do it right now? Actually, I'm going to get that's what I'm going to do. I'll fill a little bit more time. I want to check and see if there's any info on getting a swarm of some sort because we're actually by the route that can do those. Although admittedly, the cycling road's going to sort of suck to deal with. So I might... I don't know. Emulator. Oh, come on, Cynthia. We're trying to do some stuff. Leave me alone. Sure. What is it, Togepi? It's probably a Togepi. Neat. So I got an egg. Thanks for that. We're going to go in here. Get my bicycle from the nice man. I think I've got a plan. All right, stop talking, dude. All right, speed up. All right, too fast. But we can go into the bag. Bicycle, register. Dude, are you seriously not gonna let me go back that way? All right, looks like we gotta go this way. Are you kidding me? I can't leave without talking to the old dude. Is he in this house? Nope. What? It's not a real DS. I can't go underground. Which building is this guy in? Nope, don't think that's him. I'm pretty sure he's in a house. At least that's what the picture in my head is saying. He must be in this house. Seriously? Alright, what do we got? Alright, speed up mode because I really don't feel like that. Explorer kit. Cool. Can I just like leave now? Is that a thing? Yes, alright, cool. We're out. I would like, please, not to get in too many battles. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, I'm like, all right, let's leave. And the one dude's like, oh, you have a bike. Go biking way. And I was like, all right, let's go do the bike. And then the person's like, whoa. You can't just take that bike anywhere. You got to go underground first. It's like, it's not relevant to the story. It's not a DS. I can't connect to the internet. I can't play with friends. I will never use the Explorer kit. And now I have to fight this guy. I swear to God, I'm not playing the evasion game. Come on, one hit kill. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm not getting double teamed on by some random AI. And here's the thing, the underground is cool enough. It's a neat game mode. I enjoyed putting together the little underground secret bases. That was an example of them taking a feature from the dude, you could put like the little like stickers on the ground that would make people like get buried in the ground and throw them off in different directions. Those are so fun. But no, they took the secret base mechanic from Gen 3 and they made it more or less strictly better. Like, it's not in the overworld, which is sort of a bummer, I guess, but at the same time they did a really good job of like making it more customizable, just adding more, like it was just, I would argue, better. And I liked it. But there is no sense in me investing any time into using it on a game mode where I can't have friends connect because this is a computer program and not a DS. More bites. That's faster, which is annoying. Let's switch to this bird. Yeah, the underground was a lot of fun. The benefit of me being almost 30, I can say this without getting yelled at now. When I was younger, when these games came out, so we're talking like 2007, 2008, my brother and I, our rooms were right next to each other, so we would, after being told to go to bed, turn on the DSs, and we would just like go down to the underground and screw around for like an hour or two until we were actually tired. Not every night, but you know, maybe once or twice a month we would. I'm just kind of fooling around. What am I kidding? Once or twice a week. for a little while. We would end up going into the underground just to kind of play around and enjoy each other's company. I don't want to fight so many people. But if we're really quick, we might actually be able to get 2 shots at this, because I'm pretty sure the swarm thing resets at midnight. It's 11:39 now. So if I'm super quick, I can talk to that girl. If there is a swarm of Larvitar here now, I should be able to speed back and have a good chance at encountering them by then. And then if there isn't, then I can see if I feel like just killing 20 minutes. Maybe I'll come back here and fight the rest of these trainers and then go check again before I go to bed. All right, so we made it to the bottom. Yeah, I know, it's reasonably good timing, and I'm loving the idea of having a Larvitar. All right, so we're gonna go this way. Cool. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going, I think. We're plenty high of a level. I don't need to worry about getting in a fight and getting knocked out. So the kid that does that is all the way down in Sandgem Town, which is like way the heck over here. It's this one right here. Nope, where is she? She's in the house, isn't she? She's got the red hair or the red dress or something. Might need to switch back to the page that talks about what she does. You. Not you? Alright, let me look at the thing. I'm getting a little twisted around right now. Rock. Larvitar. Details. Swarm. So it looks like that girl. Pokemon Platinum. Swarm. So I have a little bit of bad news there, Mr. Pat. According to this, swarms are another feature that have been retained in the change from Diamond and Pearl to Platinum. Swarms remain the same and require you to have the National Pokédex. Once you do, go to see your rival sister in Sandgem Town. She will tell you blah, blah, blah. So that's not going to work, though. I'd be happy to take a suggestion from you on that front if there's a different Pokemon that you would like to see. Be the man mountain. If not, we can. All right, shut up, TV. Stop. I don't. Oh, you can just walk away from it. Thank God. So I will kind of revisit that concept. I would love to have a team member named after you. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Garchomp. I think we can do that. Yeah, because we're not going to have Tyranitar on the team at all, which means you do have a seat to fill. Garchomp poses issues in that we're going to have 2 Pokemon on the team weak to Dragon if I catch Giratina, and 2 Pokemon on the team double weak to Ice, thanks to Torterra. But at the same time, Garchomp is such a boss, I think it's worth the risk. And Garchomp exists below the cycling road, so I can actually, I think, go down and get a Gibble now. Well, not right now. I'm going to do it next time because I'm ready to kind of start shutting things down for the night. I just want to get back to where I was. Come on. But yeah, so I think that is a pretty manageable request. No, here's the thing. Garchomp is cool, and Garchomp is a personal favorite from Gen 4. I imagine a lot of people share that there. Garchomp, whatever, is kind of a boss. Definitely, and he was one of the Pokemon that during the Gen 4 meta was actually banned to the Uber tier because of how strong he was. So I used to have this like really strong interest in getting one on my team, but if I wanted to play online with the people that I played with, I wasn't able to use one, so it was a whole process. So I have no problem bringing one along. My previous team in Crystal version had its own, like I had a Gyarados and a Crobat and a Suicune, so we kind of had like triple problems with electricity. So like I'm not opposed to having a team that struggles a little bit on the like the type coverage front, and Garchomp packs enough of a punch to easily make up for it. I'm going to heal, and I'm actually going to save in front of this Pokemon Center, which is where I started the episode, funny enough. But because we're going to be able to head up, hit the cycling road, and do some other stuff, we're actually right where we need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and head down here. I'm going to save to slot 1. And we click this button here, a little bit of this button here. I think I did that right, didn't I? I did. We're in. All right, so I will be, Firefang, Thunderfang, yes. And the fact that they introduced the type coverage again, instead of just being the punches, is super nice. So the plan right now is for me to turn off my computer and go to sleep because I got work tomorrow after a really long weekend and I need to be ready for that. I will be back Wednesday to play some Call of Duty. Pat, I will shoot you a message. I don't think having you on will be a problem at all. I would love to see you there. And then Friday, unless people are busy, is going to be Magic Day. So we'll do that. I will be back for those things, but I think for now it's about time for me to go ahead and hit the shutdown button. So Pat, thank you so much for being on. And I will, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.